Like to buy a vowel?
Mm-hmm.
O.
Stay a while and listen.
Welcome to the Agony of Positivity, the AOP podcast. I am Ross.
And I am Big Saul
Train.
Saul
Train. Big Saul Train. We're going to keep adding a word every week.
Big Saul Train.
It does kind of roll off the tongue.
Does. I'm ready for my pro wrestling debut.
There you go. You're doing jackknife, right? Is that still what you would go for?
Yeah, I would go with jackknife.
It's pretty good. Let's see here. So how was your week?
Good. I got a call from my boss today saying that
Technically, he's not your boss right now, is he? He's just
Big
some dude.
Big Daddy DeWine is my boss right now. He's giving me my paychecks.
That is the governor of Ohio. I started to say mayor of Ohio, but that's not how it works.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, the governor of Ohio is my boss right now. But my old boss called me today and said that little, I don't know, that the Trump loan for small businesses.
Yeah.
So I guess he can hire me back. Hopefully, he said by next week.
Well, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Although, have you grown accustomed to being a man of leisure?
It's true. I mean, I do like getting paid and absolutely doing nothing. So
Yes, my job has continued. So I guess that's technically a good thing.
Sure.
My tax stimulus is nowhere to be seen. So
yeah.
I have tried the IRS website, and it says it is undeterminable.
Gotcha.
Whatever that means. So
did you do direct depositing for your?
No, I have
your
always, when I file taxes, I've always just mailed it in. So I've never had that set up.
Yeah.
So I have no idea if I will just get a check one day, or if for some, I know I'm still working on mine for this year. My whole not nearly dying, but my being incredibly sick there forever. Definitely, I felt at times like I would prefer to be dead from the illness, but it was not the illness that I'm aware of.
It wasn't you don't think it was the Steve Carino?
No, he did not sneak into my house with his stringy hair and make me nauseous just looking at his forehead.
Yeah. But who knows?
But yeah, so fortunately, since I didn't lose my job, obviously I'm going to pursue figuring out what I need to do to fix that to get that money. But it's not like, oh no, I'm in a bad way. So but
I'm sure you'll get it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, sooner or later, November. Or whatever. I mean, I'm going to file, or eventually the 2019 ones will get finished, and that'll take care of it. But yeah, trying to log into the IRS site and get all that stuff set up is a mess. Like, trying to actually create an account there, like, it doesn't register any of my financial stuff. Like, it's I'm sure other people are experiencing that. So if you're one of them listening to this, know that I'm in the same boat. If I figure out a resolution, I'll talk about it.
Sure.
Although you will probably find out long before you would hear the episode that comes up in.
Well, the good news is, if this ever happens again, hopefully we will be prepared.
You would hope.
But they say this only happens like once every 100 years. So.
Yes, we were due. If only there was a historical trend. For many years.
I mean,
I'm sure everyone was like, oh yeah, just because it's the 20, like every 20s basically, I think is what people were pointing out, where it seemed like there was some kind of plague or something. Yeah. I'm sure they're like, well, yeah, but that's not going to happen now. And lo and behold, like
mankind is incredibly arrogant.
Yeah. Let's see here. But yeah, so my week has been basically somehow I've felt incredibly better and not been falling asleep at 5:30. So my playing of some video games and stuff like that have continued. Due to working from home, I have extra time, so my cooking has increased.
Okay.
So that's exciting. But did you have any outside the normal excitement?
No.
All right. Well, on that note, shall we go into really it's going to be WWE, hey, where's this guy going to go segment, but
Yeah.
are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, let's do some wrestling.
Here we go. Bumper time.
Oh, I don't know what the hell's going on here, folks. Looks like he's just wearing blue heel pants.
This is a revolution.
All right. I guess we'll touch on AEW real quick.
Yeah.
Like the actual live wrestling is the least of things to talk about this week. But so we got stupid Shivani and Jericho, an announced team that both have issues with Dean Malenko, so I hate them both. I turned the sound off.
Yeah.
Not really. I don't actually hate
Jericho.
them both, but part of me does hate them.
Jericho is hysterical. He's great.
Yeah, I like him. There is one funny thing from this, so we'll just touch the match stuff real quick, probably. Lance Archer, to, I would assume no one's surprised, moves on in the tournament.
Yeah.
That belt's going to be like black and red to match his attire. So they got like all kinds of people talking about the Moxley and Hager match from MMA World and everywhere else.
Yeah.
We got Britt Baker with her best-selling shirt went and had herself an enhancement match. And that's really all there is to say to that. You think that she had any idea, or now it seems like she's pretty smart to the wrestling world. As soon as she was bleeding, she was looking for the camera to smile at it, basically. Like, she knew that was money, basically.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you think anyone, she was like, one day I'm going to have a best-selling shirt. And then she was like, it's probably because my nose is going to get broken and I'm going to be bloody. Or that just she was going to, like, I'm sure that's not the way she thought that would happen. But
I assume if you're in the wrestling world or in that reality, I assume that however you get famous, you got to prepare yourself for.
yeah. Well, I mean, she's obviously getting better as well, but that's probably, again, live crowd would have made that awesome for her.
Yep.
We got Pineapple Pete against Sammy. Sammy wins. Jericho is very happy for him. What do we got here? Saban and Chuck Taylor. Only thing I really cared for is we're going to get an Orange Cassidy match out of the whole thing, as he ate a rampage on the outside.
Yes.
Shawn Spears beat up some dude.
Yep.
So then we get to the
it's
empty.
Funny. Shawn Spears has had a better record during the pandemic than he did when everything was going good.
Yeah, like they're starting to run with him, and I'm sure there's a world where the Revival show up and help him out.
Yeah.
So we get to the main event, which is Moxley and Haggard. This match got hyped up by like Tony Khan and a few other people.
Yeah.
I think that did a disservice to the match. Is what I'm going to go with.
It kind of bored me.
So I was hyped up because I was expecting maybe like a crazy brawl type thing. But when they basically they started like shoot like a shoot style, like trading holds and that kind of stuff, and I was like, I need to change my expectations. But I like that style, so that was fine. But like we were talking a little bit before the show, I almost feel like the promos leading up to this had me more excited than if I would have just found out the results, like it was a mysterious match that we didn't get to see, probably it would have hit better for me. Although I was entertained by the match, I would like to know how humid it is in Florida, because it looked like they. Do you remember the old WWE toys that you could put water in and then they would just exude water out of their pores, so to say?
Yeah.
There was a lot of sweat coming off of both those guys.
It's not as bad as that one pay-per-view that it did, but yes, it was pretty bad.
at one point I was like, I really want to go to the Jacksonville to see a show. Like, that seems like a cool place. But now I'm thinking that due to humidity, I don't think I want to go there now.
Big old swamp.
We already live in Ohio. It's humid enough here. I don't need 99% humidity, but it refuses to rain.
Yes.
Kind of heat. Yeah, so basically, like, the end result is Moxley wins this thing. Seems like a lot of people had a problem with JR's commentary, but he seems to get picked on no matter what he does.
Yeah.
Whereas, and this kind of came out on the Tony Schiavone does that What Happened When podcast. He was like, yeah, it's funny. He was like, I was calling Sammy and Darby the wrong name, and people let it go. JR makes like one little mistake, and he gets just like flailed.
Lit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there is a lot of concrete there, which was pointed out like a dozen times, but yeah, I mean, that's the end of it, and that's the end of the show. So, I mean, I'd rather see that than nothing, but yeah, it'll be nice to get back to the real world one day. So
it's coming, Ross. It's coming.
Yes. So we also had Howard Finkel passed away.
Yeah, saw that. Yeah.
Kind of sad, but based on his health, I don't know that that's like, not out of left field, so to say. But I do, from growing up in the, being born in the 80, literally the 80, heard a lot of Howard Finkel growing up. So it's unfortunate. Fortunately, we got the Good Brothers. There is a excellent impersonation of the Fink between them. So we can relive some of that, but kind of sucks. But, what can you do? So, the other thing that sucks is the amount of people that were released or furloughed from WWE this week.
Yeah. No, so, like, WWE has been taking a lot of crap for letting people go.
Yeah.
See, I don't think it's deserved. Or maybe, in my opinion, and you know me, I'm not a pro WWE guy at all.
Right.
So, but I mean, it's a business. I mean,
right. You got to do something.
It's just how it is.
I would be curious. The only thing that I'd be curious to know is what kind of a payment arrangement was it? Like, hey, we're going to release you, but we're going to pay you for 30 days.
Yeah.
Or is it just we're cutting you off and you're like contract early, but there's no 90 days. You're free to do whatever. Is it like the immediate release, like the Revival got, which doesn't really do anybody any good right now? So they could do that.
Yeah.
But
sure,
I'd be curious because if it was just all of a sudden you go from being employed to not employed, and you're not getting any more money, that might not be the best way to handle it. But yeah, I mean, look at all the places that have cut people during this.
Oh, sure.
So. I guess the other story we should touch on is that Florida has decided, I saw something that says it was more broad of sports is essential.
Okay.
But initially I just saw where it was WWE got some kind of deal, but I guess there's like boxing companies that are looking at running in the performance center to do matches or something.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. Seems kind of strange to me.
Well, I think it'd be a pain to do it, to be honest with you right now, because what WWE's doing, from what I heard, is like once a wrestler has a match, they have to quarantine themselves for like 14 days. And I'm like, that'd be a pain.
Yeah, the whole thing seems like a mess. There is, obviously, I'm nobody, so I know nothing except what I read online. But there's speculation that there could be some kind of clause in their Fox TV deal where they have to do so many live shows. And that might be driving this because there's some kind of fear that Fox might not be happy with what they've gotten. And there's an awful lot of money tied up there. Now, I have no idea because I'm pretty sure SmackDown is pulling a good rating when things are running normal. I mean, I don't know how you would think that it's like, well, we don't have anything that's outdrawing the news right now. Because, like, no one, like, there's no other sport at all that's doing anything So the fact that they're still producing new content, like whether it's live or not, is irrelevant. I mean, it's new that you've never seen. So I have no idea. But as you pointed out, the business world is pretty ruthless. So that could actually be a motivating thing behind it. And someone was saying there was like some connection to a donation to Florida of a bunch of money. Like there's all kinds of weird stuff going on with it. But I mean, seems like we should at least point it out. But all right. So we're going to do the quick list here.
Of all the people that were let go?
Well, I'm going to go through it. Tell me where you think they're going to go.
Okay.
All right. Kurt Angle.
I see him going back to WWE when all this is ending. Because wasn't he an agent or something?
I think he was just like on a Legends style contract or something. I don't think he was actually doing anything. Like I don't think he wasn't like Lance Storm or like Finley or any of those guys.
Yeah.
Like I think he was just getting paid. So.
I mean, I guess he could go.
Home.
I guess he could go back to home. Impact.
No, he needs to go home, drink milk with his family.
Yeah.
All right, we got Gallows and Anderson.
No, they teased going back to Japan.
Right, I could definitely see that.
I could see them doing the AEW New Japan deal. Where they go. They wrestle a little bit.
There was a couple interviews or podcast they were happy being in the United States and not having to make the trip to Japan and leave their family all the time. So I could see some kind of, or like a real light schedule over there. Hard to say, but I could.
But
the AEW New Japan special maybe, because there's definitely a few matches they could have in AEW, since tag teams are a thing there.
Yeah.
All right, we got Zack Ryder, and we'll throw in Kurt Hawkins here since they were teaming up, but it seems really more Zack Ryder.
I care less.
I would assume, since he is friends with Cody.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was like super popular at one point until they put him in a wheelchair, stole his girlfriend, and pushed him off the stage. During that whole, I don't know if you were watching during that time, but
no, I don't remember this guy at all. Because wasn't his saying like woo hoo hoo or something like that?
Woo woo woo. Yeah, I don't care for that at all either. But the reality is, he was doing like this a YouTube show. He was like the internet champion or something. He got like I did not get it. I did not care. I didn't look at his YouTube show. Wasn't interested. Yeah. But I cannot deny the fact that he was like super over. Like the reactions he was getting were crazy. And it seemed like where you hear rumblings of he got over but he wasn't intended to, so they sabotaged him.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those stories.
I would say his wrestling I could care less about. I did like his show where him and Hawkins actually went to different stores to buy old action figures.
Yeah, the Major Brothers podcast.
I did like that. So
yeah, I've listened to their podcast some. It's pretty good because they're super into like all the action figures.
Well, I guess on YouTube, YouTube they actually had a channel. Maybe it's part of their podcast. I don't know, but yeah, they would go to like different stores to buy these action figures. So I would actually watch a TV show. So TNT, get that together. I would actually watch a TV show about them just going out and buying action figures.
Did you watch the Toys That Made Us on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking. All right. So yeah, Kurt Hawkins. Good. I'm assuming you care less about Kurt Hawkins than Zack Ryder.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I mean, I seen Cody tweeting it, so I guess AEW, but
right.
I don't think AEW should be like, oh, we got to get these guys.
Right. I mean, I'd like to see. There's a lot of these guys. I'd like to see them somewhere else, anywhere else, just to see what they can do. I can't wait for all the podcasts we're going to get that say the exact same thing. But you got Drake Maverick.
Drake Maverick.
Little guy that was at EC3.
Yeah, I can see him going back to Impact.
All right. I have no idea what he would do. Mike Chiodo, the referee.
I guess it all depends if he likes airtime or not. So I guess he could go to NWA or Ring of Honor or.
I forget NWA exists. Speaking of NWA,
I think a lot of
though,
people are going to because they completely shut down. So
right. Well, I mean, they're playing it safe. So Heath Slater,
another guy.
he's got kids.
I'm gonna go with Impact. He seems like an Impact guy.
Eric Young.
See, I liked Eric Young, and I actually liked the Sanity faction he was in, and then WWE.
Yeah, and then they reminded you why you should not get involved in any NXT group, team, or person.
I would say I could see him in Ring of Honor.
Yeah? I don't know what they're doing nowadays. Hold on a sec. I gotta mute here. You probably still heard that, but it was actually muted on the recording.
Gotcha. Let's say, buddy, I heard that sneeze. By
Yes.
the way.
It should have muted out, but we'll find out. I was doing it last week for a few different things, and I listened through and didn't hear it.
Gotcha.
Eric Rowan, unfortunately, he will not have his animatronic spider with him.
You know what? I think it'd be neat for him to be part of with the Exalted One there.
Yeah, give him like a cleaned up look with a suit or whatever.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I could see I could see both of them not wanting that. Like, I would love to get away from this guy for a year or two.
Well, yeah, but I can actually the storyline would be good. Like, the Exalted One is getting tired of all these jobbers.
Right. So he brings in Rowan's like his personal muscle enforcer.
Exactly. Yeah.
That'd be good, because then you have that Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. So you actually have 4 solid people. Keep Silver and what's his other name, and then they just beat up putties on a weekly basis.
Yes.
All right, Sarah Logan.
I can see her going to AEW. Because AEW needs women.
Yeah.
That are,
well, I mean, every company that has a women's division needs, like, WWE has like the women's locked down basically. So I imagine we won't see many of them released. So this one is special to me. No Way Jose.
Yeah, I'm sure. When I read that he got fired or let go or whatever, I was like, I'm sure Ross is really sad about this.
So I feel bad for whoever the real name of No Way Jose is. Obviously I don't wish ill on a person because they portray a character. Yes. But not ever having to see No Way Jose or hear his music ever again is a delightful thought to me. Because this is, of the stupid things that I like in wrestling, this is the style, like this and Adam Rose with the whole Rosebud party thing. Yeah. Not my thing.
And and that's a good thing that you just brought up there. I'm just judging these guys off of what I've seen in WWE.
Yeah, not them as a human.
Yeah, so that if that's his character and anywhere else he goes, Impact, I'm gonna say.
I hope
or
not.
NWA.
Like, he seemed like he has like a good look, like physically he looks like an imposing person. Yeah. There's gotta be something better for him to do. Yeah.
Well, just like Gallows and Anderson, I think they did better in New Japan with the Bullet Club because I think those characters were just better.
Well, and they were treated like a threat.
Yeah, that lame thing that they had in WWE, the club there. I'm sorry, I could never get behind that.
Well, they were always just basically like the fodder to get to AJ or just kind of there.
So now you might not know this. I've heard that someone's on a podcast said that. So AJ's now is down to just one person in the club. Well, who's the other person? Do you know who this other person is?
Wait, unless it's Finn.
Okay, I didn't know who the other person. I was like, well, I thought there was only 3 because I only saw 3 at WrestleMania. So
right, I mean, theoretically, like, if you're going by it, like Finn as Prince was obviously part of the Bullet Club. So, but they've never done anything with it other than a brief thing, I think during the Rumble or something like that one year.
I didn't know if you saw them add another person. I just didn't know about it. So
Not that I'm aware of. It is funny going back to that because people have pointed it out on Reddit, and I find it hilarious. Is basically Gallows and Anderson were killed by the Undertaker. One was thrown off a roof, and the other was blown up, and that's the last we'll see of them on WWE programming. So,
there you go.
The Canellas, Mike and Maria. I'm not invested enough to even. I would guess.
I'm going to assume they'll go back to Ring of Honor. That's where WWE got them in the first place. So,
right. EC3.
I'm just going off by a couple months ago where he was in a picture with Private Party. So I'm just going to go say EC3.
Yeah, he seems like someone who is really not used. Now, this guy I'm excited for personally, Aiden English.
Yeah.
Because I liked him. I mean, I own a Vaudevillian shirt when it was him and Gotch together, or whatever his name is. I forget what he even goes by at this point. He was the guy who, one of those people who seemed to want to fight everybody all the time. But I thought he was really good and had some potential. I'd like to see it. I don't know where he would go. I would just like to see him somewhere else doing stuff to see
apparently,
what he's got.
From what I heard is he's really enjoying being a commentary.
Yeah.
So maybe
I don't know where he goes for that.
NWA maybe, I guess.
Could be. I mean, there are like commentating jobs are. I mean, if place to start doing what AEW does, where they do kind of a rotation.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. AEW has plenty. They don't need more.
Right.
So.
No, yeah, they're not hurting. But if he wants to wrestle and commentate, I mean, there's always the potential he'd get to do some commentating there.
Sure.
Or who knows? Maybe he could be English commentary for New Japan. I know they already got some guys going, but whatever.
Yeah.
Leo Rush, anything?
I see him as a Ring of Honor type guy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, finally, Primo and Epico have been released.
Yeah.
They were trying for that JTG record.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. I mean, I think their style is more for, what's that? What's the Mexican
AAA?
Federation? AAA, AAA,
yeah. Yeah. Or I don't know. I have no idea if like the Colognes are actually still running a promotion. Like I'm not familiar with like Puerto Rico or any of that, but there's always that as an option for them. Okay, Rusev.
I see. Well, if AEW is smart, they should go out. They should have signed him. That should have been their number one priority.
Yeah, get Rusev. Well, Rusev and Revival. I would think.
Yep.
Out of everyone who's been released, those seem like the big things to me.
Yep. I would have tried to get those three.
I would, from a personal like, I want to see Rusev go to AEW. I could see him going anywhere though, and probably doing okay from what I've seen.
Yeah.
There's 3 more people on this list I have here, and I don't know who they are, so I can't even say anything about it. So we'll end.
Well, one of them is a up and coming female wrestler, I think.
Oh, is that Perazo?
Maybe, yeah.
Diona Perazo. I have no idea who that is.
I think it was like the only NXT person they let go.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of the NXT stuff, so I'm not super familiar. But
apparently, I guess she was an up and comer. So I guess AEW, if you want to build your women's division, but shit needs help.
Right. So, yeah, they need a few more people. And then they had like a bunch of agents and stuff. Like Lance Storm, I think, was one of the more notable because he had closed his wrestling school to do that. Which kind of sucks.
I see those guys going back.
Right, at some point. Yeah, it's hard to say if it's a release or a furlough. I've not seen anything that distinguishes. Yeah. So, and that could be the case for a lot of these people where it's just a furlough and they'll be back, but who knows?
Or who knows, maybe Dean Malenko's talking to Billy Kidman and then Lance and hey, come on over here. We need more.
I could see Lance Storm. I don't know about Billy Kidman. I don't know. I just like Lance Storm, so I'm indifferent to Billy Kidman. Although Flock Billy Kidman when he had called it the 7-year itch was much better than regular Billy Kidman.
Yes.
Who fought Hulk Hogan somehow.
Yes.
What a
Then like the dirty dogs or what were they called?
What?
You don't remember when WCW was going
The
downhill
filthy
a lot?
animals?
Filthy, dirty dogs, filthy animals, whatever. uh,
Oh, they did some awesome stuff. I mean, all wrestling companies do. I mean, I listened to a podcast. The Tony Schiavone one was the one where Mae Young gave birth to a hand, fathered by Mark Henry. I remember watching that live and thinking it was the best thing ever. So,
you and me are two different people then,
Yes.
because I saw that. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever.
well, I mean, it was dumb, but I was absolutely entertained by it. And just like when they did the whole Katie Vick thing with Triple H, sitting in a room of people, I'm the only one who's like, yeah, I can't believe they did that. That's fantastic. Not because it was good or appropriate, but because it was so out there, and like, I can't believe that this idea went through multiple people. And they're like, yeah, we need to do this. This will be good. And they still did it. So that is what excited me, is that many people were like, yeah, I don't see a problem with this.
So what'd you think about the XFL folding up there for the second time?
XFL is doomed. Like, there is Papa Shango put a curse on Vince McMahon, and that's all there is to say to it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the second time back in January. I think people were excited at first, and they're like, "Yeah, this is, I don't know." And then the coronavirus, I think, just killed it.
Yeah, well, it's just not the same as the NFL either. Like, it's an alternative. Like, so is arena football, and I'll watch like a quarter of an arena football game and be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Much like, college baseball. I'm not watching college baseball. I can barely watch regular baseball.
Yes.
Now, like college football, college basketball, much more competitive.
Now, did you hear one of the plans for Major League Baseball?
Is this where everyone's going to play in Arizona or something?
Yeah. Well, but did you hear the leagues? It's going to be a Grapefruit League and I want to say it was the Orange League.
Isn't that what they do during spring training anyway or something?
Yeah, something like that. So, theoretically, you could have, like, the Cincinnati Reds in the World Series facing against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It would be weird.
In Arizona.
In Arizona, yes.
You know
I
how
don't
mad
know.
I would be if I rooted for a team that wasn't a traditional winner, got a World Series,
Yes.
zero chance of it being a home game?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what you got to do, what you got to do. So, I mean,
Right. Well, I mean, they're going to, like, those guys' contract, I'm sure they're still getting paid no matter what. So, like, we got to do something. I'm sure TV networks are like, can you guys do anything? Like, I think some of the racing, like race car stuff, they were doing, like, the esport version of it.
well, see,
Which
now,
is
I don't
entertaining,
understand
but-
racing. I don't understand why they can't have racing. I mean, because you're just driving in a car.
You have, like, the amount of people on the pit crew.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
You like got the pit crew,
okay.
all that. So
Yeah. You know what? Make it more exciting. You don't have pit crews.
you do your own.
The driver has to change their own tires.
Now that would be. They'd have to have a one man pit crew, because you'd need the jack, and then you'd have to have the other guy do.
Yeah, that's true.
2-person pit. Yeah. So driver and that would be crazy.
Be more exciting.
It would be, and no helmets. Leather helmets.
Yes.
All right. So, do you want to move on to, because we got a couple things here. We got some, I don't know if it's conspiracy, but more like the cryptozoology, magical creature kind of thing. We got some video game stuff we can talk about. What do you want to do?
Let's do video games, because I don't know how far we can go with the cryptozoology.
We will see. Oh, before we're done with wrestling, I had an idea. I was waiting to ambush you with it. So
Okay.
I like tournaments.
Yeah.
We spend an awful lot of time critiquing wardrobes and whatnot. What do you say about us doing a wardrobe tournament for the best wrestling outfit?
Like of all time?
Yes, basically my thought is we could do this as I will come up with whatever number we decide, like say 10 people or 12 people. You come up with 10 or 12 people in a particular ring attire. So it's like you can't just say Shawn Michaels and it'd be all of them. You'd be like Shawn Michaels DX where you had the weird shoulder thing, or Shawn Michael, like whatever it is or whatever.
Okay.
And now it doesn't have to necessarily be the best looking, but just like why you think it's the best. Maybe it's like one of the ones I'm going to tell you right now I'm picking is Bastion Booger, because that is one of the absolute worst looking wrestling ever. But it's amazing. It's so bad, it's perfect. So like that's what I'm thinking is like it could be anything, but you got to be specific to it. And then so we'll get some pictures. Yeah, get some pictures, and then we can make a link to put in the show notes for it. But we can do that. And if anyone is listening and wants to, you can do the email thing, or you can go to the website agonypositivity.com. There's the suggestion thing. If you have a particular wrestler, if you really, cause I'm not going to pick the Shockmaster, but if you want to put Shockmaster in there and give us a reason that you think that is the best, we will look through those.
And we'll just narrow it down to the winner, huh?
Yeah, and then we'll debate back and forth on it and see which one moves on.
That sounds good.
Something entertaining to do. I thought about that today. I was going to the store to get allergy pills.
Yes.
And that occurred to me. Somehow. I don't know how. But alright, I'm going to hit the bumper.
Get over here!
Time's up. Let's do this.
Alright. So, for video games.
Yeah.
I know we've both played a decent amount of Warcraft for sure. Have you been playing anything else?
I've been Conan Exiles, keeping the base up and running for whenever you decide to play it.
I am a very, very monogamous in my video game playing.
Oh, I know. I know.
My side chick would be Hearthstone, which I actually got a bunch of my points back, apparently.
Okay.
Remember what I was mentioning? We're like coming in like 4th place or something and losing points. And I thought that I only played like 1 or so games that did that. I logged back in and had about 600 more points than I did when I left.
Okay.
So I would assume that got fixed. But I could be wrong. Or I like woke up in my sleep and punched out a bunch of battlegrounds and crushed it. But so I've still been playing that. I'm back above 5,000. But I play real bad now. Because I try to do, like, Shutterwalk. I'm going to take Shutterwalk and go for Pogo. And it doesn't ever work, hardly ever.
Yes.
So I keep trying to do dumb stuff because it's fun.
Sure.
Trying to change my ways instead of going for winning or best, trying for fun.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing I've been doing. Conan Exiles, and then mostly it's just been World of Warcraft Classic and retail.
Right. So what are you doing in Classic? Are you at the point where you're doing, like, pick up for the raids, or?
So, I was leveling with these 2 other guys that we both know.
Yes.
And, one of them gave up, which I knew he would.
Right. The other one, I see him on all the time.
Yeah, so he's playing it because he just likes how Classic is.
Right.
How it's set up. He doesn't like how retail is now, which I 100% understand. But the problem is, I was leveling Classic. I was leveling a priest because I was being the healer.
Because because you hate yourself, and that's the equivalent of flagellism.
Yes.
Followed closely by warrior.
Yes. And being a healer in Classic, it is a rough go. And because I kept on resetting my talents over and over again.
Uh-oh. So you have, like, no money.
Well, I thought I could swore I read that after a month it resets itself.
I
I
think
guess
it
that was
reduces by 50%, maybe?
It does not, because I have been at 15 gold now since
That might be
December.
that might be the floor. Because I know mine was at a certain
Okay.
amount, and then it
Okay.
was cheaper, like, logged in once randomly, and it was cheaper. But yeah, it doesn't drop a ton.
See, that's just stupid. So, any case, so my priest is like at 47. I really didn't like the game. I didn't like how it felt, so I've been leveling a hunter. So my buddy has been rolling a druid, and he likes being a tank on a druid, and yeah, I'm the hunter and he's a druid.
That sounds like a dreadful combination to me. So
Yes.
yeah, I logged into my Frost Mage on Classic.
Yeah.
And was like, ran around Stormwind on my mount. I was like, all right, that's enough Classic for right now, because I'm still level 40. I don't know what I thought was going to happen not logging into it, but now for retail, I'm going to tell some stories here as a returning player for 8.3, even though that happened forever ago. But the experience buff of 100% that, as of a while ago, that's been extended to the Shadowlands pre-patch, so that's going to stay. They've also introduced a reputation buff that'll start on 420 and go till May 18th. Maybe they'll extend that one for the entire time too.
Yeah.
That's basically going to be... It sounds like there's a couple reps that aren't going to work for it, but it's definitely Legion and BFA stuff, but it'll help you get flying, is the big thing.
Yeah.
So, I have no... So, I read the article, and there's certain factions that it doesn't work with, but I don't know who on earth those are. So, now you had told me a little bit about 8.3 and what to expect.
Yep.
So, which was nice, because you did way more than Blizzard did for telling me what is going on. Because I got a pop-up that didn't really tell... I'm basically accepting quests that talking heads are popping up on my screen and telling me about, but I don't really know what it's leading to at all. Like, I'm being bombarded. Every time I do anything, there's a new quest to go to a new zone. Magni's crying about a hammer at some point, and whatever he's doing, and Mother. So the first thing I did, somehow I meet up with Magni or someone, and all of a sudden me and Rathion are hanging out, and we somehow get me a cloak that's awesome. Way better than whatever I was wearing, because I was at like a 350 item level. So like, when I quit, my item level wasn't great, but it was okay. Like, it was passable. I think. Maybe not. Like, I mean, I wasn't doing like Mythic Plus or any of that stuff, that's for sure.
Sure.
But so I get that. I eventually figure out who to talk to get over to Naztar, the Naga world, which is about like going through an Escher painting, is what it feels like with the terrain. I knocked out as much as I could of the story quest in one night. Like, I just went and did everything on the map that I could find. There's still a few things that I'm like, I don't know if they're like one day time gated or something like that. I'm still coming across like other stuff like that, but so did all that. Was just like, this is something. By the end of it, I kind of knew my way around a little bit better, and it wasn't as bad. But holy moly, would a flat world just be so much better?
Sure.
So that was all I did on the one night, was just basically grinded through that stuff. Saw that my rep was slightly above neutral when I was done, it felt like. I was like, what am I doing here? Because I'm only doing it to get the flying, because I'm so close.
And you're doing this on a mage?
Yeah.
Right? See, I did it on a demon hunter. That way I could just glide everywhere. Yeah, I can.
Yes.
I cannot imagine doing Najatar without something with gliding a part of it.
I mean, I have like slow fall, so I can jump places. So I use
That's
that a
true.
lot.
Yeah.
There's not as much control, but I mean, you can just like click that off and then use your teleport right before you hit the ground, and it's similar but not as good. I don't know. Overall, like, I'm just playing as Arcane, which I don't think is good, but I got some of the I don't know what they are, essences or whatever, or the Big Bertha gear that you get with the Nagaland, Bethic or whatever. I don't even know what the names of this stuff is at this point. I mean, it's been like a week of me playing it, and there's just way too much for me to care to absorb.
Big Bertha gear. I like it. We'll go with Big Bertha gear.
Given to me by Dirty Dogs.
Yes.
So, overall, like, I mean, I basically kill most stuff in like 3 hits with just like Arcane Blast or whatever it is. And that's fine. Finally got to Mechanome, whatever, Teen Titan City. And as soon as the prince there starts talking to him, like, where do I know this voice from? He's like, I swear this is Robin. It's a gnome Robin from,
From Teen Titans Go.
Well, either one. But yeah, specifically because he is a gnome, it's definitely Teen Titans Go in this case. So
Yes.
I finally looked it up, and 100% it is the same voice actor that does Robin. So he also did a voice in StarCraft.
Really?
They have it's this crazy scientist or something. I'm not super into StarCraft, but I just noticed reading through that. So I imagine it sounds like Robin. So it's kind of like the guy who did the voice for Brain on Pinky and the Brain. I've heard that voice other places too, but in my mind it's Brain doing the voice for another character.
Sure, yeah.
So it's weird. Or if I Yakko Warner's voice actor will show up a lot of places. It's always strange. But yeah, so hanging out with Robin and whatever's going on there, there's just filthy gnomes everywhere. My God, it is disgusting. The only redeeming thing is there's the little dog that you can give an energy cell and bring back to life. That's fantastic. I did an awful lot of fishing for some reason on one of the quests.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's much easier to navigate that place, and I am glad that the Flight Master's whistle is a thing in this game.
Sure.
The other thing I noticed is the amount of needless travel between all 3 of these things. Like, what I've done in Mechagon isn't so bad. Najtar and the Rathion thing, I feel like I'm just bouncing all over the world for no real good reason. Because you're going to, Oldham. You're going, I got something, I don't even know where I'm going now. I've been in some of the dungeons. I just don't care.
Sure.
But the one piece of corrupted gear I got is insane. So I guess I want more of those because I got to do the Visions of N'Zoth or whatever. But really, I just want to get flying and be done with it, and then work on doing World Quest or whatever to get gear, so that when I lose interest in 2 months' time, that at least when what's it called? When the next expansion comes out, my people are in pretty good standing. Yeah. I did level that Demon Hunter in 10 hours. So,
yeah, that was insane how fast. I'm like, man, he is going to burn through everything.
Yeah, the story with that, because I like Demon Hunters, but my Demon Hunter was on a different server than the normal server that we play on. And I was like, you know what? I'm not spending the money to server transfer and faction change. Forget that. I'm just going to level a Demon Hunter. They're pretty close. The Demon Hunter starting area is awful. I hate it. If I never did it again in my life, which hopefully I won't have to, would be great. The part when you're dealing with the wardens and everything, that's where I just hate it. That's when it's bad. So I thought. Because then I get to the Legion stuff where I have to do the Order Hall. And because I've already done the Order Hall once, I have no desire to do this. But by
Yes.
the time I'm done with that, I'm like 107
Mhm.
or 108. And then I basically did 2 quests in High Mountain, and then I just flew around to the like the world quest for like Kill Legion stuff.
Yep.
And I was like 110 in no time.
Sure.
And then I got to go to BFA.
Yeah.
It took me basically 2 zones to get done with that.
Yep.
And I think I was like in the middle of the forest killing mobs, and I just exited game as soon as I got 120.
Yeah.
I logged back in at a later point and got back to like Borealis or whatever.
Yeah.
But BFA, I don't care for it. It was fun to play through like the one time, but
Yep.
I can I can pass.
The replay value is very poor.
Yeah. So
Now,
fortunately, we're
can
getting.
you pause this?
Yeah.
Can you pause the podcast? I want to show you something, and then we can talk about it. About the skyboxes. This is pretty cool.
Is this going to be for? Hold on here. I'm trying to see because I am not super good. I think what I'll have to do is I'll just have to patch them together as 2. So here we go.
Covered, and there's so much more.
All right. So we are back. What Solomon was showing me, and I have it. If you're watching on YouTube, you would see it. But it's Mr. GM. Is that correct? Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. GM. So there's this. It's back from the end of March, but it's how Azeroth would look with updated skyboxes, and it's basically just, shows some shots of like Stormwind. It shows like sticks in the ground in the desert for the Horde cities, which is pretty accurate. But basically, it's just changed out like what you see skywise, like be it sun, clouds, like just a little bit more to it, and it does make a big difference.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, if you want to keep the game exciting and like make, especially newer people coming in that don't care anything, that this game's been around for 15, 20 years, however long it's been.
Yeah. Well, I have like on the screen here, it's like the old version of Stormwind and the updated. And like obviously no one went in and changed anything on the buildings, but just the sky like gives you something different to look at. Some of it seemed like it was lighting changes, but it doesn't take much. Since like we were talking while we were like you were telling me where to go to look on this thing, we don't really have day and night in retail.
Not really.
Like
I
not to where it's dark and you can't see.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, like how much more like night, like in Conan Exiles, for example, nighttime in that game is terrible because that night, you might get run into a monster and have to fight for your life because you can't see anything.
Right. Well, yeah, because you have like your torch, but it doesn't give you perfect vision. Like if you don't have a torch, there's literally going to be places that you can't see anything if there's clouds over the moon for sure. Which gives the potential too, you die and you need to go get your body. Do you hold off because it's getting dark and you're not going to have very much gear on you?
Yeah.
So it adds an element of danger as well.
Yep.
Now their day and night cycles are relatively short, so it's not like you're like we were talking. I guess initially in Classic. Now I never played and didn't know, but like when it got dark in Classic, it got dark like for real, and you couldn't see, which people complained about. But it sounds like they were doing like real world day night cycles. So you could, depending on what shift you worked or how your life was, you may never see daylight or nighttime.
Yeah.
And there was someone who worked third shift who had played that game for a month and didn't realize that the sun came out.
Sure. I don't know. I think especially if they're revamping the whole leveling process now, that you can level anywhere you want to level.
Yeah.
The old world needs updated. So.
Yeah, they could definitely do just little things like that. I saw something might have been a Reddit post, where someone was like, "Can we please get the Justice set for Paladins, a high-res model for it.
Yes.
Which they did, I would consider it a high-res model in Heroes of the Storm. For Uther, you can have the Justice or Judgment, whatever. I called it the wrong thing. I'm sorry. It's one of the most iconic sets ever, and I have misnamed it. But, like, there's a version of it, and it looks awesome. So, now I did notice something that drives me crazy about the gear. Have you ever noticed how thick the axes are?
Yes.
Like, they don't really come to an edge. They're just like a big, less blunt club.
Sure, yeah.
Like, I was looking
I
through
agree with that, yeah.
the WoW, like, because Wowhead's pretty much the site you go to. Whether you like it or not, that's where you're probably going for stuff. But a lot of the data mining they've done, it'll have, like, the top view of some of the weapons. And I was just trying to find stats to see what they had for it. And noticed all the axes. I was like, none of these really look sharp.
Sure.
Like, the swords at least come to a point, typically.
Mm-hmm.
But the axes are just, like, less blunt clubs.
Yeah.
Probably why I've never liked them. Although I'm real picky about weapons. So.
Yeah.
Let's see here. But yeah, so I did the Demon Hunt. Yeah, so the experience buff staying is great. I wish they would push up the rep, because that's what I need. But overall, people have done, I think it's Torgoth. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. The tower in the alpha. I haven't watched anyone play it. Like, I haven't gotten a chance to catch any streams yet for it. But people seem to really like it.
The whole Tower of the Damned type thing.
Yeah, where it's, let me see here. This is going to be great. Yeah, tell me about Noble Garden while I'm looking for this, because I have never participated in Noble Garden.
I tried it once and I'm like, this is stupid. It's Blizzard's version of Easter egg hunt.
Okay. So it's not Easter, but it's Easter?
Yes,
Okay.
You're looking for eggs for somebody. I don't know. I don't know the whole lore behind it. I did.
The Lich King wants you to get eggs.
Yes.
Yeah, Torghast. I would assume it's Torghast. But yes, they got testing for Demon Hunter, Mage, Priest, Warlock. Again, I'm pulling my information from Wowhead. So I will check real quick. I can't imagine why I would have access to Alpha. No, I do not. Not that I thought that I would, but I figure I'll at least check the tab.
Now, would you play it if you had access to it?
Yes.
Really?
I think I would.
See, I don't like that, because then you just lose everything.
But now it would be when I played Rift. I had slightly early on one of the expansions.
Yeah.
And I played that enough to know what's going on. And then I kind of stopped. Like, I didn't want to go through, like, the entirety of what was offered for the leveling. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, like, whatever comments you would give and, like, how it feels. And then just to see kind of what I'm expecting out of it. So,
gotcha.
That's what it was. Like, now the tower, I would play that because that's designed to be pretty replayable regardless. And I would want to see how that is. So I'm probably, when we're done, food, but I'm probably going to try to find somebody streaming that to see exactly how that's looking so far, because it's super early in the testing is what they've said. But that's the kind of thing that, like, the amount of hours I put into the roguelike game that I was playing there, the mining one, Undermine, I forgot the name of it already. Anything that's that style where you could just do another run, and if you find the right stuff, you get super powerful. So someone was saying, I saw like in a thread where someone said they had like mage with 0 cooldown blink.
Okay.
And every time you blink, you summoned like a mirror image.
Okay.
And then they had it stacked with the intelligent mirror image thing that they got, where they're actually a little bit better, like based on damage you do. So that just seems insane.
Sure.
And I could completely be misunderstanding what they were talking about. But
Yeah.
my understanding of the towers, there's going to be some busted stuff you could do. And that seems like that'd be pretty busted. Is just teleport around the room and do that.
Make copies of yourself.
Yeah. So let's see here. They actually got a little more information on it. So if you're solo, you can die 3 times per floor. That basically kicks you out. 2-player party, you got 5 times per floor. And I think there's 74 floors is what I saw.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying to find somebody streaming this. Hopefully somebody entertaining. So, I'm very picky, as should be no shock at this point to anyone who's listened. Of the things that I am picky of, streamers that I will watch, I'm very picky of as well.
Ross likes guys who yell at the top of their lungs.
You know, what's funny is there's a few people I watch who do get loud,
Yeah.
but there's a reason for it. It's not just unnecessarily loud. So,
Sure.
most people would probably be like, well, this guy's pretty boring. Be like, yeah, but he's not going to start screaming about something
Yes.
just for no reason and just make me close my ears off forever.
All right. Well, I think we've talked a lot about video games here.
Yes, we
I know
will be able to legitimately tag Warcraft on the on this episode. So, you want
to talk a little bit about cryptozoology?
Yeah, let's get to our Battle of Michigan, Ohio, since we may not see a Michigan, Ohio game that I don't care about. Here, we're going to use this.
Why did Britt take her shoe off to eat that sandwich?
It's the Brit shoe sandwich bumper. It's going to be used for a long time. So first, you sent me this. Actually, you sent me both of these, but the Michigan Dogman.
Yes.
Which is, hold on, I think it's in the thing you sent. Like, I'm staring at it, but there's like there it is. So the Michigan Dogman is a creature described as 7 foot tall, blue-eyed or possibly amber-eyed, bipedal, canine-like animal with the torso of a man and a fearsome howl that sounds like a human scream.
Yep.
So this sounds an awful lot like a werewolf.
Yes.
But you're just calling it a Dogman for some reason.
Yes.
I don't know why you would do this.
Be different, I guess.
Yeah, so if you want to do like a Google image search, you'll see the first thing that shows up is what you would expect. A picture that's so blurred out that you see shapes that are a color and no idea what it is. But the person will swear to you.
One right here. If you want to show the viewers watching on YouTube here. I guess that might be an actual photo of him, I guess.
Is this, we'll see here. Hold on. I gotta get the, hold on. Loading time is forever. Let's see here. That looks more like a bear.
To me, it looks like a cougar or bear. Yes.
But either way, yeah. So that's not one of the pictures on the image search here. But yeah, there's like a picture that's clearly a werewolf. This guy's got a picture of a deer. I'm pretty sure that's blurred out because that's what happens. Yeah. This looks like I got one that's like a black and white that's kind of like a Slender Man style, like with the fog going over it. But he's obviously thicker than Slender Man. There's a picture of some lanky dude wearing a helmet that's been like, I don't know what's going on with some of these things. There's a guy in a ghillie suit that's been circled, I'm pretty sure. Like, oh, there's your picture that you sent me from that. One of these I think is a ripoff of the Bigfoot. Well, one of them actually is the Bigfoot picture, and one of them I think is a ripoff of the Bigfoot picture. Yeah. This one's drawn on a paper bag. So, this is fantastic. But, if we're looking at the pure size, a 7-foot werewolf is pretty impressive.
Well, if I'm out in the woods somewhere and I see 7 foot anything coming up on...
You're going to shoot at it because it's probably a Bigfoot.
I am going to run away from it quickly.
So, what if that draws its attention, though?
Well, I'm definitely not going to. I'm not going to take my chance in the middle of the night. I don't know. So are you saying it's like a T-Rex? It goes by
I mean,
movement.
You might be drawing more attention to yourself than necessary.
Yes.
All right, so the other thing we got from Ohio, we got the Loveland frog.
Yeah.
We're on cryptozoology cryptibs.fandom.com wiki stuff. But the picture of the Loveland frog that you sent me, it looks like he's playing piano. So I assume that he is a bard class.
Yes.
So the Loveland frog, otherwise known as the Loveland lizard, is a humanoid creature with the face of a frog. It is described as roughly standing 4 feet tall. For people who are in smart countries, that's 1.2 meters. I'm jealous of your ability to convert things. But 4 feet tall with green leathery skin. It walks upright and has webbed hands and feet. First spotted in Loveland, Ohio. So
He's short, but he has heart.
So, based on what I'm seeing here, so if he's a frog, he's probably got like frog tongue powers. Can go in water, out of water. Let's see.
I'm just going to assume that he's like Toad from X-Men. That's what I'm going with. He has those type of powers. So, very lame powers.
Right. Well, and obviously you got some pictures here. We got a D&D picture on this page that I'm pretty sure that's a Blue Eyes White Dragon that they're using from Yu-Gi-Oh! But that's beside the point. So, one of the officers in question on this thing from a 2001 interview, this made me laugh. Officer Mark Matthews, now retired, explained that the incident was habitually blown out of proportion. He stated that it was, and is, no monster, it was not leathery, or wet matted fur, it was not 3 to 5 feet tall, it did not stand erect, the animal I saw was obviously some type of lizard that someone had as a pet that either got too large for the aquarium, escaped by accident, or they simply got tired of it. It was less than 3 feet in length, it ran across the road, and it was probably blinded by my headlights. It was presented no aggressive action.
Yes.
Which goes on. Matthews attempted to shoot the creature in order to back up the account of his partner's sighting a few nights prior, but the lizard escaped. Most likely to die from its injury or from the night's bitter freezing cold. That takes quite the turn.
It's quite the it's a little disturbing that they decided to start shooting it.
Well, I guess his partner had seen the 50 to 75 pound version.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know, but yeah, there was a frog or a farmer, but whatever. So the real question here is, for Michigan, Ohio, who do you think is winning and why between the Dogman and the frog?
Yes. Well, I'm going to go with height.
Okay.
Dogman is 7 foot tall, and a wolf, I guess, some kind of wolf creature. The 4 foot frog guy is. I'm sorry, I don't think he has that much going for him.
You're wrong, and would you like to know why?
Yes.
Because I'm going to walk you through how this battle would happen.
Okay.
So,
all right.
All right. First off, music soothes the savage beast.
Okay.
And our frogman is an amphibian. So what's going to happen is the frog, because it is smaller and will probably be fairly quick, is going to lure our dogman near a pond where he has his piano.
Yes.
He will then soothe the dogman to sleep and push him into the pond. He will use his frog tongue to wrap around the dogman and drown him.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when he is done, he will continue playing the piano, and it will be ragtime music, specifically. Because that's what I think a frogman would play. And there will occasionally be a lightning bug that he will eat. It will do the cool Disney thing where it lights up inside him and he glows.
Yes.
And that is how the frogman will defeat the dogman.
Gotcha.
With the power of the music. Much like Aerosmith in that video game.
Yes. Sure.
Again, I'm basing it on this picture where he is clearly a pianist.
Playing a piano.
Yes.
Now, that would be scarier if you were driving in a car and you see a frog guy playing a piano, pushing the piano across the road as you're driving by.
Pushing it
Would
and
that be
playing it at the
scarier?
same time. That would be. I mean, it'd be better if he was just on the side of the road, lighting up from his lightning bugs.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, so I'm pretty sure that's how that ends. Is Frogman wins.
It's always possible, I guess.
Brute force does not match a bard in this case.
Yes.
There'll be some vicious mockeries involved.
It's true. I mean, I hear all the time frogs are killing wolves in the wild all the time. So yeah.
Well, probably not most of them because they're not able to play the piano. Whatever mutated the Loveland frog, based again on this illustration, gave him the ability to clearly play a piano or some kind of musical instrument.
That's...
When I make the thumbnail for the YouTube part, I'm going to put a piano here, so it will make much more sense.
Piano and the TG whatever it is for the Ninja Turtles, that ooze on top of the piano there. There you go.
Yeah, just one of the containers.
Yes.
I'll add that in there. That would explain it.
Yes.
There's probably 4 of them. That would have been a much better way to go with the story where there's 3 others.
Yes.
Name them all. Be like, this one's Picasso. This is Rembrandt. This is a very original idea that I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Van Gogh. And Tim, but spelled with 2 M's.
Well, I think we ran this course for this podcast.
Yes, I would agree. Why is there a Galaxy Quest thing at the bottom of this? Galaxy Quest is good. Have we ever talked about that movie?
No. Oh, is that the one with Tim Allen?
Yeah. It's the Star Wars kind of parody. But kind of.
Yeah, it's more Star Trek than Star Wars.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Star Trek.
Whoa, buddy, you just insulted a bunch of fans right there.
What? They're the same thing. I'm tired
Oh,
of
they
hearing... I wish
they
I
would
could
fight
continue
you.
with that, but I know better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we'll do... For May 4th, that's what we'll do. We're going to do a Star Trek episode and just pretend that we know...
And talk nothing but... So we'll do a Star Wars... We'll label it as Star Wars, but we'll talk nothing but Star Trek.
Or just how, like, Picard would kick Luke's butt.
Yes.
Like, just... It's really not a bad idea. I mean, if you're going by any kind of buzz is good, I'm sure there'd be some people who would stumble across it and just be more than irate.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that for the May 4th.
We could finally have the mean comments portion of the show. So
yeah, so May 4th, we'll talk about that.
all right, we'll do a special. It's really not a bad idea. So all right, everybody, live your life like a goose. It says so on the website. So again, if you want to do a suggestion, you can just do the normal. We have the AOP podcast at Gmail, or you can go to agonyofpositivity.com. Scroll down a little bit. There's a little linky thing. You can probably make up an email, truth be told. Just put in the message who you want for the wrestler outfit. Be specific. Again, don't just be like, Undertaker, Ministry of Darkness. Well, which particular one? Are we talking teardrop tattoo? Like, and what makes it good?
Yep.
Because otherwise we will have to speculate. So, don't submit Bastion Booger, because I'm already going to put him in there. So, just letting people know. So, all right, everybody, have a good one.